Everybody, this is a VR headset, and it's gained quite a bit of hype over the last year since Zuckerberg said the thing about the other thing. Anyway, there's an idea out there that this headset, or realistically a more advanced version of a headset like this, will one day in the future be the means to the most prosperous and blissful experiences that any human could ever dream of. The idea has three parts, and the first part involves virtual reality. So virtual reality, or VR, is a simulated reality that, when wearing the correct gear, completely encompasses you. Now, the main senses targeted currently are your eyesight and your hearing, but as the technology advances, other senses such as taste, smell, and touch are likely to become a part of the experience. Despite it not being mainstream, sensory suits and omnidirectional treadmills already exist. So it's only a matter of time before VR maximizes sensory engagement and simulated worlds taste, feel, and smell like the real thing. And also, as the technology advances, graphics and imagery will become unbelievably lifelike, possibly to the point that it could become indistinguishable from reality. For a very quick thought experiment, I want you to consider the very first iPhones and compare them to the ones that we have now. Think about just how far they've come in terms of graphics, usability, and how reliant we are on them. Our VR headsets that we have now are those original iPhones, and it's really hard to imagine just how drastically they're going to improve in the coming decades. Now that we've spoken very briefly about VR, it's time to move to the second part of the idea, and that is artificial intelligence. Once virtual reality technology is at a high enough level, and it doesn't even have to be a perfect level, just one that we'd be happy to spend a lot of time in, artificial intelligence becomes the game changer. AI with the correct training and data is pretty damn good at knowing what you like. But that's just the tip of the proverbial iceberg, because an advanced AI that we're certainly on our way to getting in our lifetime will be pretty damn good at knowing everything about you. And the reason for this is because the amount of data that is accessible to a powerful AI system is insanely huge. Currently, a lot of the data that you give away provides companies with information about the things that you like, the dream job that you want to have, the places that you like to holiday, and the potential products that you're likely to buy. But we're providing more and more data and information from facets of our lives that we're not even really aware of. Every wearable, such as a Garmin or an Apple Watch, has information, and it provides that to companies about your blood pressure, your heart rate, your electrical activity, and your sleep quality. Now, at the moment, this data is great for telling you how hard your workout was or how relatively healthy you are. But if we had an AI system that could culminate this info over a long enough span of time, we could see specifically what it is that excites you, scares you, leaves you in awe, and makes you fall in love. Anyone that has access to this information could essentially control you, and you probably wouldn't even be aware. If a company has access to your heart rate, electrical activity, eye movements, search history, location history, which, to be honest, they kind of already do, an AI system could use this to know exactly who you are. Quite plainly, they would know you better than you know yourself. And with that being said, it's now time to move on to the third part of the idea, which is putting advanced virtual reality technology and advanced artificial intelligence together. So we have a VR that can make you see, smell, hear, taste, and feel things just as good as you can in real life. And we have an artificial intelligence that knows very specifically every facet of your being. If we put them together, we have an artificial intelligence that can create a livable universe designed entirely for you. And I'm not talking in terms of just scenery. No. I am talking far, far more than that. I'm talking about an entirely simulated life to be lived. Imagine waking up in this simulated universe and going to your dream job, speaking with bots that are indistinguishable from real humans who know just what to say at every moment in time to make sure that you're feeling your best. Imagine being able to see loved ones that have passed away and being able to spend time with them as if they were really there. You have the partner of your dreams who changes perfectly in relation to your physical and emotional needs at any given time. In fact, every single facet of this universe can change subtly or drastically depending on what the artificial intelligence knows you will need at any particular moment. The weather, the people, the activities, a dream world of such perfection, so free from suffering that the real world kind of pales in comparison. Now, there are obviously a few obstacles that spring to mind when you consider this idea. Firstly, you would need to preserve your real life body whilst you're living in this virtual simulation. And I imagine that in the future this could be done with some sort of preservation tank similar to the Matrix, or we might even go as far as having brains in jars or mind uploads, that kind of thing. Secondly, you may feel that the simulated world you're living in just doesn't feel real, or the bots that you talk to can't exactly keep up with conversation the way a normal human could. And for anyone who's thinking like this, I really would encourage you to get yourself a virtual reality headset and see just how immersive these experiences are, even considering the fact that they're still in their infancy. As for the artificial intelligence, there is no doubt that AI is progressing extremely quickly. There's already AI out there that are convincing humans of their sentience. Also, you can never say with 100% certainty that anyone you meet or have met is not in fact a bot. There really is no study that can confirm with 100% certainty that anyone you have ever spoken to is in fact real. So as long as whoever you're talking to in the simulation appears to be real and can somewhat pass the Turing test, the fact that they actually are real or not is actually obsolete. A third barrier that we meet is the fact that with having everything at the snap of a finger, the life might actually seem boring and you might not really enjoy it. For example, if you were eating your favorite food every single day, it's only a matter of time before you get sick of it. But to combat this, I imagine that the AI would be working in sync with your neurochemistry, making sure that you're receiving enough dopamine and other chemicals to make sure that the time that you're spending in the simulation is worthwhile. If the AI is good enough at manipulating your neurochemistry, which I imagine it will be, you might never want to leave the simulation. So, under the assumption that we can preserve our bodies, the VR and AI aren't clunky, and that the AI can orchestrate your neurochemistry perfectly, the only question is, would you want to live in this world? Do you choose to have yourself and your family live in separate dream worlds free from suffering, or do you bear the suffering of living together in the real world? One day you might just have to make this choice. So what do you do? Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next week.